And when you learn how to make money, which by the way, when we do this activity, we all travel and we make money in an hour, what would we all sell? We're all selling the same thing. We're selling ourselves. You're selling your brain, right? Your gifts, your skills. You came here with enormous gifts from God. And here's how I see it. I also connect, you saw I was on The Secret, I connect your ability to make money and your gifts very spiritually and very connected. I think that you all came with amazing gifts, and as long as you don't really, really expand and generate those gifts, I think you're ripping the world off. How about that? Right? And some of you say, well, money's not important. Really? I think your gift's important, and somebody needs it, and while you stand in your mess and your story and your conflict or whatever's going on for you, you're not making any money, which means you're not changing lives. And what I know about doing this work, which is why I do the work, is I love changing lives. All right, so how many of you are up for this conversation today? Yeah. We've locked you in, so the rest of you, just get used to it. No, I'm teasing. All right, so there's two ways to sit in your seat. You can just have fun, and I teach this, I think, in kind of a fun way. I'm going to make you talk to me. Some of you won't ever talk to me just because you're going to challenge yourself to not do that. Or we can get something done. So when I say get something done, you can grab that pen and paper and start taking some notes. So how do you want to play? Let's get something done. That's what you're here to do. That's why Michael put the whole workshop together and the whole 2 days together. So what I want to do in this first activity is I want you to write down this saying. And it's really what my book, From Hay House, was about. Is I want you to write down, say yes and figure it out. Say yes and figure it out. Right? So say yes and figure out how. Why don't a lot more people say yes and figure out how? Scared. They're scared. What else? They don't know how. And so let's just say, so are they saying yes first, or are they trying to figure out how first? How first. See, and that's where everybody's all screwed up. Yes. Right? Because you're trying to figure out how, and you don't have all the skills. Right? So when you're trying to figure out how, what's interesting is there's this basis of security or perceived security in that I'm going to say yes and I'm going to figure out how, or actually most of you will say, I'm going to figure out how, then I'll say yes with all the guarantees and certainty that if I know how, then I'll go. How many of you are living that way? Right? Come on. At some level you are. So here's the truth and about this saying. So right below it, I want you to correct it a little bit. I want you to start saying yes, and put your notes in the first person. Say, I'm going to start saying yes and figuring out who knows how. Because that's the gift of every entrepreneur. We're really brokers. Like, I say yes to the wildest stuff, right? Like opening an office in Sydney. I said, sure, I'll open an office. I remember signing the lease for 3 years in downtown Sydney next to the Opera House thinking, what the hell am I doing? Right? There's one of those say yes, figure out how moments. And then I'm thinking, how does an American do business here? Right? So the first thing I do is I say yes and I go find who knows how to get this stuff done for me. Okay, you guys got it? All right, so from that perspective, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background. And not just, I do want you to know a little bit, but I want you to hear my mindset. I want you to hear how fast I take action. I want you to feel challenged in it. But I also want you to start reflecting on, when have you said yes? How many of you have already done this in your life? You know what I'm talking about. You said yes and figured out who can help you get stuff done. Yep. So the rest of you, when you start doing it, your life will just start moving. See, yes is about a commitment. And yes isn't just this casual word in our vernacular. Yes is about no kidding. I'm saying yes. I'm going to cross the line, and there is no going back. Like living life full out. I mean, you only get one dance through this rodeo. You might as well do it right. I mean, what's going to happen? Well, you might fall down for a few times, scrape your knees. Oh, get up. If you're around amazing people, you'll always get up fast.